Therefore, in prayer, heart is involved. Heartfelt prayers, we say. So that's how we should begin our day. How else we can begin our day with Krishna? One is chanting, you said. What else can we do to begin our day with Krishna? We can attend Mangal Aarti if possible in center, if not in our home. We can do at least a small version of the Aarti or something or the other. If not the all family members, at least one or two family members, one or two are cooking, whatever. So one or two family members are attending from kitchen, one or two are attending from the hall, whatever. What else? If possible, if we can read one shloka of Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, they say a shloka a day. Like we are starting from today. In the morning thing would have already happened. Venkatesh Prabhu was the in charge. He may give update later. So a shloka a day. Some people read a chapter a day. Chad club. There is something called as a Chad club. CHAD. Chapter a day. Like that. So very nice, Harini Mataji. What else? We can hear. And hearing के लिए separately बैठने की भी जरूरत नहीं है. While doing our activities, we can hear some spiritual sound vibration. So if we do these 3, 4 things, or if possible, when we are sitting together with family for breakfast prasadam, we can discuss something about Krishna. Let's say, because it's important that the family should at least take prasadam together. It is said that, a family which prays together, stays together. Family which dines together, shines together. Family which sings together, clings together. Family which dances together, advances together. Like that. So therefore, at least morning time, if we all can, like all family members can make it a point that, okay, we'll take prasadam together. And while we are taking prasadam, we can discuss something about Krishna or we can hear something together. So these are the ways by which we can begin our day with Krishna. And whole day, what are we supposed to do? Okay. Whole day we are supposed to do our duties very nicely. If we have begin our day with Krishna, then we will be able to do our duties in Krishna consciousness. Why are we doing our duties? Who are we doing it for? And we'll be able to offer the results to Krishna. And our duties include studies for somebody, household chores for somebody, office for somebody, whatever else it may be. And evening, night, how do we end our day? How can we end our day with Krishna? Yeah. We can pray. Somebody was saying we can chant our remaining rounds. That's not ideal, but if it is remaining, then there is no other choice. And then another way is, we can read some Krishna Leela. But typically reading Krishna book at the night is very nice. Sweet dreams. Sweet dreams से भी अच्छा है Krishna conscious dreams. So if we have heard or read about Krishna, then in dream also we can think of Guru and Krishna like that. So that is how every day we should do. Similarly, every month also we can do like that. Begin month with Krishna, end month with Krishna. Similarly, we can do with year also. Begin the year with Krishna. So therefore, today morning program is very, very special. Unfortunately, my health was not good. Therefore, yesterday I could not come. I was feeling so bad. I was down with fever, and I missed. But I hope all devotees. How many of you were present yesterday for some time at least? Haribol! Ja, ja, ja. Okay. So let's begin with our today's New Year special class. We'll talk about New Year a little. Yesterday, Vrash Krishna Prabhu has spoken some things about New Year, about the Vedic perspective of New Year. Today, after the class, we'll speak a little bit, 2 minutes about New Year as well. But right now, we'll get into today's verse. So today's verse is from first canto, 13th chapter, shloka number 29. Yeah. Everybody is able to see this? But I wanted to bring in both Hindi and English so that, okay. एवं राजा विदुरेणानुजेन प्रज्ञा चक्षुर्बोधित आचमीध चित्वा स्वेषु स्नेहपाशान् दृढीमिनो निश्चक्राम भ्रातृसन्दार्शिताध्वा एवं राजा विदुर्नेनानुजेन प्रज्ञा चक्षुर्बोधित आचमीध चित्वा स्वेषु स्नेहपाशान् दृढीम्नो निश्चक्रामा भ्रातृसन्दासिताद्वा एवं राजा विदुरेणानुजेन प्रज्ञा चक्षुर्बोधित आजमीढ चित्वा स्वेषु स्नेहपाशान्दर्मिणो निश्चक्रामा भ्रातृसन्दासिताद्वा एवं राजा विदुरेणानुजेन प्रज्ञा चक्षुर्बोधित आजमीढ चित्वा स्वेषु स्नेहपाशान्दर्मिणो निश्चक्रामा भ्रातृसन्दार्शिताद्वा एवं राजा विदुरेणानुजेन प्रज्ञा चक्षुर्बोधित आजमीढ चित्वा स्वेषु स्नेहपाशा एवं राजा विदुरेणानुजेन प्रज्ञा चक्षुर्बोधित आजमीढ चित्वा स्वेषु स्नेहपाशान्तरेण्यो निश्चक्रामा भ्रातृसन्दार्शिताद्वा। माताजी। एवं राजा विदुरेणानुजेन प्रज्ञा चक्षुर्बोधित आजमीढ चित्वा स्वेषु स्नेहपाशान्तरेण्यो निश्चक्रामा भ्रातृसन्दार्शिताद्वा। एवं राजा विदुरेणानुजेन प्रज्ञा चक्षुर्बोधित आजमीढ चक्षा स्वेषु स्नेहपाशान्तरेण्यो word by word meaning. Evam, thus, Raja, King Dhritarashtra, Vidurena Anujena, by his younger brother Vidura, Pragya, introspective knowledge, Chakshu, eyes, Bodhitaha, being understood, Ajamidha, Dhritarashtra, scion of the family of Ajamidha, Chitwa, by breaking, Sveshu, regarding kinsmen, Sneha Pashan, strong network of affection, Jararimnaha, because of steadfastness, Nishchakrama, got out, Bhratra, by his brother, Sandarshita, direction to, Adhva, the path of liberation. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. Thus Maharaj Dhritarashtra, the scion of the family of Ajamidha, firmly convinced by introspective knowledge, Pragya, broke at once the strong network of familial affection by his resolute determination. Thus, he immediately left home to set out on the path of liberation, as directed by his younger brother Vidura. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So we'll read the purport by Śrīla Prabhupāda. Actually, in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam or in any of our spiritual literatures, reading Prabhupada purports are very, very important because Prabhupada purports actually tell us what is the right meaning to be understood from each verse. And I had heard once, probably I have shared this also earlier, just like an expert movie director hmm, knows which scenes to bypass and which scenes to focus on. An expert movie director will not yet in detail zoom into each and every scene in the entire movie. Some scenes he skips for the audience or for the spectators to just, themselves understand. But some scenes they zoom in and they spend more time in some scenes. For example, some events in the movie. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada is like that expert filmmaker who, in all the verses of Śrīmad Bhagavatam, in some verses, Prabhupada zooms in. Prabhupada says, stop, pause, zooms in and gives elaborate purports. And in some verses, you will see there are no purports also, because there is nothing probably much. It's some just fact, some things, right? So this is another example of some very classic purport of Srila Prabhupada. Let's read that. Everybody is able to see this? Okay, let me just. Okay, now it's better. Okay. Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the great preacher of the principles of Śrīmad Bhagavatam, has stressed the importance of association with sadhus, pure devotees of the Lord. He said that even by a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can achieve all perfection. We are not ashamed to admit that this fact was experienced in our practical life. Were we not favored by His Divine Grace, Srimad Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, by our first meeting for a few minutes only, it would have been impossible for us to accept this mighty task of describing Srimad Bhagavatam in English. Without seeing him at that opportune moment, we could have become a very great business magnate, but never would we have been able to walk the path of liberation and be engaged in the factual service of the Lord under instructions of His Divine Grace. And here is another practical example by the action of Vidura's association with Dhritarashtra. Maharaj Dhritarashtra was tightly bound in a network of material affinities related to politics, economy, and family attachment. And he did everything in his power to achieve so called success in his planned projects. But he was frustrated from the beginning to the end, so far as his material activities were concerned. And yet, despite his life of failure, he achieved the greatest of all success in self realization by the forceful instructions of a pure devotee of the Lord, who is the typical emblem of a sadhu. The scriptures enjoin, therefore, that one should associate with the sadhus only, rejecting all other kinds of association. And by doing so, one will have ample opportunity to hear the sadhus who can cut to pieces the bonds of illusory affection in the material world. It is a fact that the material world is a great illusion because everything appears to be a tangible reality, but at the next moment evaporates like the dashing foam of the sea or a cloud in the sky. A cloud in the sky undoubtedly appears to be a reality because it rains. And due to rains, so many temporary green things appear. But in the ultimate issue, everything disappears, namely the cloud, rain, and green vegetation, all in due course. But the sky remains. And the varieties of sky or luminaries also remain forever. Similarly, the absolute truth, which is compared to the sky, remains eternally, and the temporary cloud like illusion comes and goes away. Foolish living beings are attracted by the temporary cloud, but intelligent men are more concerned with the eternal sky with all its variegatedness. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरकृषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे Hare Krishna. So there may be many of you who may not know these prayers or who may be hearing these prayers for only first few times. So how would you know these prayers now? So there is an app in our mobile phones called Vaishnav Songs. Please make sure you download that app. In that app, you will see all these prayers are also there, along with the meaning in Hindi and in English. So as a homework, we all should make sure that we go through these prayers, we understand the meaning of them, because it's important to always understand the meaning of what we are doing. Secondly, at the beginning when we were singing, we not only took the name of Jai Radha Madhav, we did not only take the name of Radha Madhav. Do you all remember we took so many other names also of the deities? Did you notice that? What all deities we took names of? Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govind, Radha Gopinath, Radha Damodar, Radha Shyam Sundar, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Raman, सब cover हो गए. Radha Damodar, Shyam Sundar, Gokulananda, Radha Raman. Right? So these are the 7 principal deities of Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, there are more than 5,000 temples. And the 7 principal temples of Vrindavan are these. Out of these 7, 3 are even more principal. Radha Madan Mohan. So Madan Mohan is a deity of Sambandha. So the essence of spiritual knowledge is SAP, SAP. Anybody works in SAP technologies? SAP, SAP? Somebody? Okay. Somebody works in SAP, SAP. So next time you hear SAP, you can remember S for Sambandha, A for Abhideya, and P for Prayojan. This is the essence of entire all Vedas, all Upanishads, all Puranas, all Shastras. This is the essence of spiritual knowledge. Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojan. Sambandha means Who are we? Who is Krishna? And what is our relationship with him? That is Sambandha Gyan. Who are we? Who is Krishna? And what is our relationship with him? This is called as Sambandha Gyan. Abhideya Gyan means how can we revive our lost relationship with him? Hmm? We have forgotten Krishna. We have our love for Krishna is covered by so much dust. So what is the process by which we can revive that lost relationship, or we can revive our lost love for Krishna? That is called as Abhideya Gyan. And what is Prayojan? Prayojan means the ultimate fruit, which is love of Krishna. Krishna Prem. So for Sambandha, the deity to whom we should pray for Sambandha Gyan is Madan Mohan. Because Madan Mohan deity stands for attraction. The reason Krishna is called Madan Mohan is because Madan is Cupid. Madan Mohan, Cupid means Kamdev. Madan Mohan means one who attracts even Kamdev. So Kamdev is famous for attracting everybody in this world. Krishna is somebody who even attracts Kamdev, and therefore Krishna is called as Madan Mohan. And therefore, when we pray to Madan Mohan, we are praying that, my dear Lord, please attract us to you. And that is where our journey begins, journey of spiritual life begins. Therefore, Madan Mohan has been called as Sambandha deity. And then, once we become attracted to Krishna, what we do? We render service. And that is the way by which we revive our lost relationship with Krishna, by rendering service. And therefore, the deity of Abhideya is Radha Govinda Dev. Why? Because Govind means one who gives pleasure to cow and senses. Go has two meanings in Sanskrit, cow and senses. So here the meaning is of senses, because Govinda, when we serve Govinda, our senses become satisfied. Otherwise, what are we trying to do? We are trying to find sense enjoyment outside of Krishna or separate from Krishna. That way, we will never be happy. Our senses will never be satisfied. But when we serve Govinda, then our senses, because Govinda, Krishna is called Govinda because he gives pleasure to our senses. So therefore, when we serve Govinda, automatically our senses become satisfied. And therefore, Govinda is Abhideya because it is about service, rendering service. And then Prayojan means Krishna Prem. Who is the epitome of Krishna Prem? The gopis, Radharani and all the gopis. And therefore, the deity of Prayojan is Gopinath. That he is the lover of the gopis, he is the master of the gopis. So that's like the ultimate end reality. So Gopinath is the Prayojan deity. So these three are the most principal deities of Vrindavan, and other than these three, there are other four: Radha Damodar, Radha Shyam Sundar, Radha Gokulananda, and Radha Raman. So all of us who have gone to Vrindavan and who have visited these seven temples, we can always mentally remember those temples and think of them. And especially as we are beginning our new year, it is important that we go to Vrindavan also and come back. So today, by remembering these seven deities, we have gone to Vrindavan as well. Okay, so let's come back to this verse. It's a very instructive verse, and Prabhupada is highlighting several things in this purport, and we are going to cover them one by one. First of all, the title of this verse, if we have to give a title to this verse, then the title can be Power of Association of Sadhus. This can be the title of this verse, and that's the theme of this verse, Power of Association of Sadhus. So we see here that Prabhupada is telling the great preacher of principles of Bhagavatam. So what we are going to do is we are going to see some important lines from purport of Prabhupada, and we are seeing what all Prabhupada is trying to teach us through this particular verse. So first Prabhupada is telling about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the great preacher of the principles of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So we know there is person Bhagavat and there is book Bhagavat. What is book Bhagavat? This Bhagavatam that we are reading, and which is non-different from Krishna. When Krishna comes in the book form, that is called Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. When Krishna comes in sari form, when has that happened? Draupadi episode. When does Krishna, any other examples? Girl, Mohini Murti, and so many other. Krishna comes in various forms. Book is this. And Radharani's book form is Nectar of Devotion. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. That is Radharani's book form. So that is book Bhagavat, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And who is person Bhagavat? One who is actually a pure devotee of the Lord or Lord himself. So Prabhupada is telling Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the great preacher of the principles of Bhagavatam, has stressed the importance of association with sadhus. Actually, this association of devotees is such an important principle of Krishna consciousness. It is the most important principle. Remember, we say 4 do's and 4 don'ts. What are the 4 do's in Krishna consciousness? A, B, C, D. Begins with A, association, right? So this new year, out of hundreds and thousands of things in Krishna consciousness, one of the most important things we can do or take a resolution about is to make sure that we will never give up association of devotees. And we will always make sure that either on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, we will take association of devotees. Then, yeah, so we'll speak a little bit more about this. So, okay, Prabhupada is saying here, he said that even by, who said? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So basically, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Sanatan Goswami in Varanasi, and he taught lot of instructions and teachings of pure devotion service to Sanatan Goswami. In that, out of many things, he also emphasized the importance of association. And there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, we all can repeat together: Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kay, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. So Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Koy. All Shastras, what are they loudly proclaiming? That Sadhu Sangha. It's being repeated again and again. क्या होगा साधु संघ से? लव मात्र साधु संघ सर्व सिद्धि होय. Lava means a very small fraction of a second. Actually, in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the details of time calculation is also mentioned. What is called as a shana, what is called as a pal, what is called as a love, like that. The whole hierarchy of time is there. The smallest is the time it takes for a sun ray to pass from one atom to another. That is the smallest unit of time mentioned in Śrīmad Bhagavatam. So we know that sun is moving or earth is moving, whichever way you look at it, right? So the time it takes, just like if you take the earth globe, we have longitudes. Anybody remembers from one longitude to another longitude, what is the difference in time? पढ़ा था geography में. I think 15 minutes. सोचो ना, 24 hours है 360 degree. So if 360 degrees is 24 hours, then 1 degree is, I think 15 minutes आता है, ऐसा कुछ आता है, right? So you see what? So from, like, right now in Australia it must be 2 o'clock. I don't know, 4 घंटा पहले है वो, right? So 9, 10, 11, 12, 12:30 हो रहा होगा ऑस्ट्रेलिया में, right? So just like it takes sun 24 hours to pass through entire earth, right? Similarly, it would take sun some time to pass between one atom to another atom. That is the smallest unit of time mentioned in Śrīmad Bhagavatam, right? Similarly, एक चीज है लव, एक चीज है पल, एक चीज है क्षण, like that. So here it says, love matra sadhu sangha sarvasiddhi hoy. कहने का मतलब we don't have to take association for that much time. The point is that even for a very small amount of time, अगर हम association लेते हैं तो सर्व सिद्धि होय, we get supreme perfection. And that is what is Prabhupada highlighting here. He has stressed the importance of association of sadhus. He said that even by a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can achieve all perfection. And then Prabhupada, out of his humility, he is giving his own personal example. He is saying, we are not ashamed to admit that this fact, what fact? That by association of a pure devotee, your life can take a U-turn. Your life can actually get into some other track altogether. We are not ashamed to admit that this fact was experienced in our practical life. When Prabhupada is saying our, he is saying my, in my practical life. But typically Prabhupada never says I or me. Prabhupada always says us, we, our practical life. Were we not favored by his divine grace, Śrīmad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj? Who is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur? Śrīla Prabhupada's guru. He's saying, अगर मुझे इनका संग नहीं मिला होता, were we not favored by his divine grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur? By our first meeting for a few minutes only, it would have been impossible for me to accept this mighty task of describing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam in English. Now, please note one important thing here. Prabhupada, the first thing he is relating as the instruction of his guru is writing books. Because that is why Prabhupada has come on this planet. Prabhupada, Krishna had sent Śrīla Prabhupada to write books and to propagate his message, Krishna's message. And therefore, the moment Prabhupada is remembering Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur here, the first thing Prabhupada is remembering is that he had told me to translate these books in English language and spread all over the world. And if I had not met him, we would not have undertaken this task. Without seeing, and then he's telling the second thing, without seeing him at that opportune moment, he could have become a very great business magnate. All of us know Prabhupada was who? He was a businessman. Right? Once in early days, Shyam Sundar Prabhu, he used to, not Shyam, Shyam Sundar Prabhu or Gurudas, one of the devotees, he used to deal in drugs. Those people were hippies, right? Those who came in touch with Prabhupada. And then police caught him and he was about to be sent to jail. So, but he had already developed a lot of love for Prabhupada. So crying, he went to Prabhupada saying that, Swamiji, I'm going to jail. Prabhupada said, what happened? He said, no, I'm going to jail. I'm so sad. We'll not be able to meet. Prabhupada said, don't worry. Krishna was also born in jail. And then Prabhupada said, what did you do, by the way? Prabhupada, then he said, Swamiji, I dealt with drugs. He said, don't worry, I also dealt with drugs. I had a drug pharmacy. So Prabhupada was a pharmacist. He had a medicine shop. But anyway, the point here is that Prabhupada was so encouraging, that somebody's spark of Krishna consciousness should not go away. So Prabhupada is telling that if I had not met Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, I have been a very great business magnate. But never would we have been able to walk the path of liberation and be engaged in the factual service of the Lord under instructions of His divine grace. Actually, to be able to serve the Lord, we have to be connected to Guru, Pramanik Guru, bona fide Guru. Many people in India think that we are serving the Lord or we are loving the Lord. Bhakti to hamare hriday mein hai. We can love and serve Lord. Actually, we cannot love and serve Lord like that. Devotional service is a great science. If we have to factually serve the Lord, we have to be in association of devotees and we have to be connected to a bona fide parampara, a Guru Sishya parampara. Without that, we cannot actually render service to God. Why? Just like, अगर मेरे को press करना है, clothes पे iron करना है, so I cannot take the iron and just start pressing like this, right? I'll have to connect the iron plug to the plug point, right? And the plug point should be connected to some power grid. That's how power is coming, right? Only when this plug point is connected to the power grid and my iron is connected to this plug point, only then I can iron the cloth, correct? The clothes, right? Similarly, the unbroken chain of disciplic succession, Prabhupada writes in so many purports, the unbroken chain of disciplic succession is like this. If it is broken anywhere, it's like सोचो बीच में कट गया है, तो आप लगाओ गर्म ही नहीं होगा, कुछ होगा ही नहीं. There is no effect. Effect मतलब क्या? Two ways. Mercy coming down and service going up. Right? What is the importance of parampara? When we are connected to parampara, what happens? Mercy flows from Krishna to us through this unbroken chain of disciplic succession. And our service or our prayers or whatever we do goes to Krishna all the way up through this disciplic succession. Therefore, we see in our altar, we keep all our acharyas, beginning from Prabhupada. And and there are many disciples of Prabhupada who are also initiating spiritual masters. So those people who have been chanting 16 rounds for quite some time, when they accept one spiritual master who is a disciple of Prabhupada, they also keep the photo of that guru in the altar before they can do any service, because service goes through your guru. And if we don't have any guru, then currently by default, Śrīla Prabhupāda is our guru. So therefore, Prabhupada, his guru. If you see the bottom layer, that is how it is. And then gradually, this is how it goes to Krishna. So either we are doing archana or we are chanting. In chanting also, how do we begin? We should begin with Prabhupada Pranati and Panchatattva Mantra, and then we chant. Or we are cleaning the temple floor, or whatever we are doing, we should always remember that we are serving on behalf of our Guru. Guru is engaging us in service of Krishna. Only then we can actually render factual service, which is what Prabhupada is telling. The factual service of the Lord under instructions of His divine grace. So actually, Guru is serving Krishna. We are helping Guru in his service to Krishna. Like that. And here is another practical example. So Prabhupada gave his example that how his life was altered. Of course, Prabhupada is a Nitya Siddha. And Prabhupada, out of his humility, he is giving this example that, if I had not met my Guru, then I would have been just a materialist. And I would have just been a pure business magnate. And I would not have done, all these services. And then Prabhupada is telling, here is another practical example by the action of Vidura's association with Dhritarashtra. So same happened in Dhritarashtra's life. As we know, this chapter is called Dhritarashtra Quits Home. And we were discussing in the series of verses that how Vidur was insulted by Duryodhan, and he took that opportunity to intensify his Krishna consciousness, and he went to forest. There he got association of Maitreya Muni. Again association. He got association of Maitreya Muni. He got enlightened more and more in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And after that, he came back to Hastinapur. Why Vidur came back to Hastinapur, we discussed in the last few verses. Not to enjoy the comforts of palace life, but to deliver his brother, Dhritarashtra. Pure devotees are very compassionate for everyone. And why not own family members also, right? So therefore, just because one is family member doesn't mean that I'll not do anything with them. If we connect Krishna, then everything is wonderful. Then whole world is a family, and family is certainly family. Right? Just like people say, why do you have to go to temple? There is Krishna everywhere. Yeah, Krishna is everywhere, but he is in temple also, right? So why you don't want to come to temple? Otherwise, you are contradicting your own philosophy. It is all cheating. So that's how Prabhupada used to deal with people when they would ask questions. Everything is in Prabhupada books. Anyway, similarly, it's not that no, family से तो दूर रहना है because family attachment, बाकी सबसे पास रहना नहीं. Family के भी आप पास रह सकते हो, बस कृष्णा को डाल दो बीच में. There is a nice book which very senior disciples of Jayapataka Maharaj have written. Your third partner, or the Krishna, the third partner. So life partner, husband and wife. Between the two partners, who is there? The third partner, Krishna. Nice book it is. We can discuss about that sometime later. So, why we went there? So family. Yeah. So Vidur came back. Not that he was attached to his brother or he came back out of family attachment. Not like that. I mean, he knew that, Dhritarashtra is a nice soul at the end of the day. Sometimes he hears me. Of course, because of his attachment, he was not able to take the right decisions because that's the nature of attachment. It blinds you, right? So Dhritarashtra being blind is historic as well as symbolic because he was attached. Because he was attached, he was never able to take the right decisions. So Vidur, he thought that, okay, let me just, go and give him some preaching. And actually, when Vidur went, he gave some very strong dose to Dhritarashtra. He told him, Nalak Budhau, he said all these things. Tum budha ho gaya hai, tumhara daat gir raha hai, and, your bones are shaking, and still you are at the mercy of those very people who you have tried to kill so many times. जिसको तुमने बार बार मारने की कोशिश की और उनको पता है ये बात, उन्हीं के टुकड़ों पर पल रहे हो तुम. Because the Mahabharata war and all that was over. And who is the king now? Yudhishthir. And who is maintaining Dhritarashtra? Yudhishthir. And Dhritarashtra, because he's so attached to the palace and the comforts of the kingdom and luxuries, he's so attached that he's not able to see what is he doing. Those very people with whom he tried to always take away the kingdom, those very people who he always tried to kill, he is currently living at the mercy of those people only. So Vidur told these things and told, and you are at the fag end of your life. How long will you be attached to all these things? Please do something about Krishna. Please worry about what will happen to you after this life. Parlok sidharne se pehle parlok sudharo. Not that, we die and then we don't realize what happened. Just like Dalai Lama said, right? People live as if they will never die. And they die as if they never lived. That's what the Dhritarashtra was doing. That's the nature of a materialist. They live as if they will never die. And they die as if they never lived. Kuch hua hi nahi, mar gaye, khatam, sab gone. Finished. So Vidura came to shake Dhritarashtra. That is a preacher. He comes and shakes people up. And Vidur knew that if I speak strongly, Dhritarashtra bura nahi manenge. So therefore, we have to have a relationship. See, this is what is an expert preacher. This is an expert preacher. An expert preacher knows कि कब प्यार से बोलना है, कब डांट के बोलना है, कब थोड़ा हार्श ट्रुथ बोलना है. हार्श ट्रुथ मतलब देखो हम सब मर सकते हैं, कल को मर सकते हैं. सोचो आज हैप्पी न्यू ईयर है, मरने की बात कर रहे हैं. What happy, what new? I don't know if Raj Krishna Prabhu discussed this yesterday, but every year we say happy new year, पर साल भर होता तो वही सब है. Same things. Everybody goes through same sufferings only. Birth, old age, disease, death. And the threefold miseries. Adi bhautik klesh, adhyatmik klesh, and adi devi klesh. What happy? प्रहलाद महाराज से श्रीमद् भागवतम पुनः पुनः चर्विता चरना नाम. मतलब जो जैसे शुगर केन होता है ना, उसको एक बार डालते हैं मशीन में तो जूस निकलता है, फिर एक और बार डालते हैं और निकलता है, एक और बार डालते हैं, फिर उसको फोल्ड करके डालते हैं, फिर एक और बार फोल्ड करके डालते हैं, करते आते. अभी कितना बार करेंगे? अब जब पूरा ड्राई हो गया ऑलमोस्ट, तो क्या करता है वो? उसको साइड में फेंक देता है. अब हम क्या कर रहे हैं? नहीं, उसको वापस डालते रहेंगे. सो वी हैव ऑलरेडी लिव्ड लाइक दिस फॉर मिलियंस ऑफ लाइव्स. वही सब ईटिंग, मेटिंग, स्लीपिंग, डिफेंडिंग, जन्म, आहार, निद्रा, भय, मैथुनम च, फैमिली, सेम चीज, पैसा, गाड़ी, रोटी, कपड़ा, मकान, सेम चीज, लाइफ आफ्टर लाइफ. As a dog, as an ant, as a cockroach, as human being, as African, as Australian, as American, as Indian, as Hindu, as Muslim, as Christian, as North Indian, as South Indian, same things. अभी भी उसी में लगे हैं और सोच रहे जूस निकलेगा. तो प्रहलाद महाराज से कॉल दिस एज पुनः पुनः चर्विता चरवना नाम. चर्विता जो चबाया जा चुका है, चरवना नाम उसी को चबाने में लगे हैं पुनः पुनः. तो इसमें कुछ जूस नहीं है अभी. Then one fine day we get association of devotees somehow or the other, and then our life takes a different turn. It is like, it is called as divine intervention. That's what Śrīla Prabhupada is talking about here. Divine intervention. We all need a divine intervention in our life. Divine intervention of a pure devotee of the Lord. हमारी लाइफ में किस प्योर डिवोटी का डिवाइन इंटरवेंशन हुआ? Śrīla Prabhupada ka. Through his devotees, through his disciples, divine intervention happened in our life. Through his books. There are so many stories of Śrīla Prabhupada's books doing miracles all over the world. We also have a book counter set up here. All those of you who have not yet purchased some of those books which are there, or any other book, Prabhupada's book, please make sure today, Happy New Year, begin your year by purchasing those books of Śrīla Prabhupada which you don't have. Read you can later whenever you get time. Some people don't purchase thinking that मैं पढ़ ही नहीं पाऊंगा. अरे पहले खरीदो तब तो पढ़ोगे. खरीद ही नहीं रहे कोई पढ़ ही नहीं पाएंगे. पढ़ नहीं पाएंगे कोई खरीद नहीं रहे तो साइकिल में फंस गए. तभी तो sometimes we'll have to break the cycle na, begin somewhere. They say incorporate also, begin somewhere. What is the beginning? Purchase book, right? And books, when we distribute Śrīla Prabhupada books to others, first we have to purchase whatever books we don't have. See the whole list of what all books Prabhupada has written. Make sure everybody, those who can afford, and I'm sure everybody sitting here can afford, because this is total what? All Bhagavatam set is what, 9,000 rupees? That is the costliest. Chaitanya Charitamrita must be some 4,000, 5,000 rupees. These two are the costliest books. Other books are like 100 rupees, 200 rupees, like that. So even if Prabhupada has written 100, Bhagavatam ko chhod dete hai, so if he has written 50 books, other than Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, and every book is even, there are many books what, 30 rupees also. Even if we take 100 rupees books of all 50, 50 into 100 is 5,000. Correct? So 5,000 all Prabhupada books plus Bhagavatam of 8,000, so 13,000 plus Chaitanya Charitamrita 4,000, 17,000. मतलब 20,000 में wrap up हो गया पूरा. Is 20,000 a very big amount for us? We all go on vacation and easily 15, 20, 30,000, we spend just like that, right? So money is not a concern. Time is a concern, but we have to begin somewhere. So by purchase, let's purchase. Every day we'll see the books at least, and then we'll shake out. When we see the books, we'll feel the burden. अरे मरने से पहले पढ़ना है, मरने से पहले पढ़ना है. This is Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness means to be conscious of Krishna. So first we have to purchase all books which you don't have. Find a list of all books. Purchase all the books today. Happy New Year. Second, this will actually make the New Year happy. Second, whoever you know around you, try to distribute these books to them. Then you are actually giving them association of Śrīla Prabhupada. What did Prabhupada say? I live in my books. Right? So Prabhupada here is telling the importance of divine intervention. And we have this great opportunity by distributing Śrīla Prabhupada books. And book distribution marathon month is still going on. And some of you have already done such amazing book distribution. We would like to chant 3 times Hari Bol for them. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! So when we are distributing Prabhupada books, please don't see that as an ordinary activity. We are actually allowing Śrīla Prabhupada to interfere in their life in a positive way. Divine intervention. Just like I've given this example earlier. In some Superman movie, I remember there was a train which was coming on a railway track. And aage, the track was broken. Okay, and this train or bus had a lot of children and everything. And the track was broken. Now Superman, he is the savior of the world, right? So he saw that. And then immediately what he did, zoom karke he went there. And he himself, upheld the track like this, right? In one movie, he did that. In the other movie, he stopped the train and made it go back. Superman. So a pure devotee of the Lord is like that Superman in our life. Our train is at high speed going to hell. Seriously, there is no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. There are so many materialists who have written this quote. I have that quote. In 1970, somebody wrote this quote. In 70s, some Western philosopher, some Western scientist, that the Western way of life is taking us to a huge disaster. He wrote like that. In 70s, abhi to chhodi do. Abhi to shayad disaster is just ahead, right? So actually, at a high speed, we are all going to damage our life. We are all going to destroy our life. We are all going to destroy the culture. We are all going to destroy ourselves, self-destruction and everything at high speed. And if we are doing all papa karma or ugra karma and unlimited sinful activities, then what is happening? We are, we are on a royal road to hell. Prabhupada writes in some purport. We are on a royal road to hell. And then a pure devotee, Superman like pure devotee comes, not only stops our train, turns it around and makes us go to Krishna. Once there was a New Year program in Chowpatty temple, and one person did not come. One youth, it was a special youth festival. So one person that night chose to go to some other pub or something. 31st December, you all know what all happens. And then Gaurang Prabhu was later talking to him and saying that, see, Maya is so strong. People want to break these four regulative principles. What are the four regulative principles? No meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. And in the name of enjoyment, people do these four things only: meat eating, illicit sex, intoxication, and gambling. Any New Year party is typically these things, right? But these things are expensive. These things are expensive. So he had gone to some RG's discotheque. It seems in Chowpatty area there must be some RG's discotheque, right? And Gaurang Prabhu said, "You come to this RG's discotheque, Radha Gopinath RG's discotheque. Here you will get singing, you will get dance, free. There, so you are paying money to go to hell. Here you are coming for free to go to, elevate yourself and to go to spiritual world eventually. Just imagine what a contrast. Still we don't want to come here. This is Maya. This is Maya. हमारे लिए जो अच्छा है वो हम नहीं करते हैं, हमारे लिए जो बुरा है वो खुशी खुशी करते हैं. This is Maya. Maya means that which is not. So yeah, path of liberation and be engaged in the factual service of the Lord under instructions of divine ways. And here is another practical example by action of Vidu. So we were talking about how an expert preacher knows कि कब प्यार से बात करनी है, कब थोड़ा डांट के बात करनी है. It is said that pure devotees or senior devotees, when they speak, it is like three things: thunder, rain, and lightning. Thunder, rain, and lightning. Thunder means what? Tatke. Thunder means chastisement. That is what Vidur was doing to Dhritarashtra. Actually, Vidur was not speaking some nice, soothing words to Dhritarashtra. He spoke such words जो arrow के जैसा चुभे, and then Dhritarashtra took the right decision. Now, let us not take this as an example of speaking to everybody like that, because वो arrow उल्टा हमारे ऊपर आ सकता है, या that person may actually never come to temple again. So an expert preacher knows, and that also depends on your relationship with the person. If you have already invested, just like mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, right? So every mother-in-law thinks it's her birthright to correct daughter-in-law from day one. And she says, मैं तो अपनी बेटी जैसा समझ रही हूँ, इसलिए उसको correct कर रही हूँ, टोक रही हूँ, ये कर रही हूँ, वो कर रही हूँ, right? But what she fails to understand is that, have you actually first invested in the relationship in a positive way? Have you first loved that much? Have you first appreciated that much? Have you first encouraged that much? It's like ATM. You cannot take money from your ATM unless you have money in your account, correct? So first you have to deposit money in the account, then you can withdraw. So whenever we speak strongly to somebody, whenever we correct somebody, whenever we chastise somebody, it is like you are withdrawing money in that relationship. But you can withdraw money from a relationship only when you have deposited, you have invested in terms of love, service. So if somebody knows that I am your sold out servant, if somebody knows that I'm genuinely concerned about you, if somebody knows that I go out of the way to serve you, then if I speak strongly to that person will not mind. This is where relationship becomes so important. Whether it be for shiksha, whether it be for corrections and chastisement. So Vidur in this case knew. Anyway, Dhritarashtra, even in the past, he would always call Vidur for advice. Like last time we were discussing that Vidur Niti is another important conversation in Mahabharata, right? So Dhritarashtra in the past always have asked Vidur to give advice. So Vidur and Dhritarashtra have that kind of relationship, right? And secondly, Vidur thought that nahi, abhi to bolna hi padega, ab to time khatam ho gaya. Right? Imagine if somebody is about to die and he is taking advice, and you are his counselor or mentor, and he is taking advice from you कि मैं सोच रहा हूँ PhD कर लेता हूँ या सोच रहा हूँ कि एक नया बिजनेस शुरू कर लूँ. आप क्या बोलोगे उसको? हाँ, very good, you should do your duties nicely. No, will say, अरे, I mean, you will not say पागल. You will say, भैया मरने वाले हो, तुम्हारा एक पैर कब्र में ऑलरेडी लटका हुआ है ना. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Chant day and night 24/7 जितना chant कर सकते हो. Pray and prepare. That's it. If you are about to die. एक बार किसी ने प्रभुपाद से बोला, प्रभुपाद ये सब आप जो कर रहे हो तो ओल्ड लोग के करने की चीज होती है. Before death. Prabhupada said, who is old? And he said, who is about to die is old. Anybody can die any moment. That means we are all. Happy New Year. So that's what it is. But anyway, और similarly अगर कोई married है, अभी just marriage हुआ है उसका, वो आके बोला, प्रभु जी, भागवतम says all this is Maya. The wife will actually squeeze out everything from me and will be completely distracted with this and all this. Yeah, I'm thinking I'll take sannyas. Just now, then you should have not married only then, if you don't have proper understanding. But just after marriage, you are talking about all these things, then what he'll have to be told? नहीं नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. You see this in Krishna consciousness, sir. Grihastha ashram is an authorized ashram. You see what Krishna wants you to do and do that. Correct? So just like one fruit is nectar in one season, poison in another season, similarly, one message could be good for somebody, bad for somebody. So it's not like one message which is applicable to everybody every time. It depends on our situation of life. Similarly, about relationships, about how we are preaching to somebody. For somebody, you have to preach in a pampering way. थोड़ा भी कुछ किया तो भी अरे वाह, so nice प्रभु, you did so much. Of course, we don't exaggerate. It is in the spirit of encouraging, because ultimately everybody is looking for encouragement and appreciation. It is a fact. So we don't tell lies, but we really, really appreciate. See, for example, all of us have come here today. Is it to be appreciated or not? So if I say, Hari Bol, thank you all very much for coming today, will it be a lie? It is a fact, because all of us are actually so busy. And it takes a lot of determination to be able to come to center, to come out of our comfort zone. And all of us who do that are to be encouraged and appreciated, is it not? So it will not be exaggeration, it will not be a lie. So sometimes we have to speak like that. At the same time, sometimes, let's say somebody has been practicing for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and is still not increasing the chanting number of rounds. Still on one round only after 4 years. Huh? Or not taking up some responsibilities in center. उसको क्या बोलना पड़ेगा? इधर 4 साल हो गया, थोड़ा और बढ़ाओ राउंड्स, हाँ थोड़ा और सेवा करो, ऐसा बोलना पड़ेगा. फिर भी नहीं मानेगा, थोड़ा और हिलाना पड़ेगा, accordingly and depending on our relationship. So our Krishna conscious life is like a tree. देखिए, जब आप एक छोटा सा सीड है, उसको सीड को अगर ग्राउंड में डालते हैं तो क्या होता है? जर्मिनेट होता है. जर्मिनेट होता है तो नीचे थोड़ा सा एक ऐसा हल्का सा रूट आना शुरू होता है. करेक्ट? सो करेंटली वी आर लाइक दैट, राइट? लिटिल बिट root, little bit, and little bit seed is germinating. Now services are what we see from outside, right? So if we keep doing more and more and more and more services, it is good. Let's say a whole tree has grown, but if the root has not increased, now visualize this picture. I have this picture somewhere, but imagine this picture. एक है छोटा सा सीड, उसका एक छोटा सा रूट है, गुड, नो प्रॉब्लम. एक है बड़ा ट्री, उसका उतना ही जितना सीड का छोटा सा रूट है ना, पतला सा पतला, उतना ही छोटा सा रूट है. इज इट अ गुड सिचुएशन? वन विंड द ट्री विल फॉल. तो बाहर से सर्विसेज बहुत बढ़ गया है, पर अंदर से रूट डीपन नहीं हुआ है. दिस इज नॉट अ गुड अंडरस्टैंडिंग. सिमिलरली, अंदर से रूट एकदम पूरा जड़ बहुत बढ़ गया है, पूरा हो गया, लेकिन ऊपर जो छोटा सा सीढ़ी है, that's also not a very healthy combination, right? What is the ideal combination? We have a big tree which is now bearing fruits, which is giving shelter to more and more people, and we also have a thick and deep roots. That is the ideal way of practicing Krishna consciousness. So roots and the breadth of the roots and the depth of the roots are compared to our sadhana. How deep are we going in our Krishna consciousness? That is our sadhana. The tree and the fruits and the flowers that we bear, the outside, that is all services which we do. Or this devotee is in charge of this devotee is coordinator of this, he is doing so much. ये सब क्या है? बाहर से जो बड़ा ट्री दिख रहा है वो है, अच्छा है, लेकिन अंदर से रूट भी डीपन और ब्रॉडन होना जरूरी है. If the root is not deepening and broadening, tree is just a matter of time, it will fall. It will fall. On the other hand, if this is only happening and this is not happening, it is also not good, because we know you are broadening and deepening your roots for what? You have to serve. You have to serve. You have to serve. So therefore, the ideal thing is that. So again, we have to sometimes tell somebody about sadhana. We have to sometimes tell somebody about service. So an expert preacher knows how to tell the right thing to the right person and when. So in this case, Vidura was telling Dhritarashtra about, "Arey, tum booda ho gaye, ab chodo ghar, bahar niklo, and please worry about your own deliverance now." So Maharaj Dhritarashtra was tightly bound in a network of material affinities related to politics, economy, and family attachment, and he did everything in his power to achieve so-called success in his planned projects. But he was frustrated from the beginning to end so far as his material activities are concerned. This is the nature of material life. In material life, defeat is guaranteed. In material life, failure or defeat is guaranteed. We should have no doubt about it. How? One may say, "Arey, I got PhD, I got Nobel Prize." How are you saying defeat and failure? PhD नोबेल प्राइज के बाद क्या होगा? नहीं बोलेगा और पैसा कमाएंगे, ठीक है, उसके बाद क्या होगा? नहीं 4-5 शादी और करेंगे, उसके बाद क्या होगा? एक ना एक दिन तो मरेंगे, तब वापस बैक टू स्क्वायर वन, जीरो, बैक टू जीरो. जैसे वो सांप सीढ़ी होता है ना, स्नेक्स एंड लैडर, वो बड़ा वाला सांप उधर ही 99 पे खड़ा रहता. बड़ा वाला सांप 99, डायरेक्ट विल टेक यू टू 2 और समथिंग, राइट? We should play snakes and ladders with children. See, I have some guests at my home. Some of them, sorry, let me not talk about those guests. सोचो किसी और की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं, इसको थोड़ा delete कर देंगे record. I've seen some children or some people who would play only those games wherein they don't lose. Very bad thing for children. Very bad thing for children. Children should be taught to play games wherein they learn to fail as well, because life is not a bed of roses. Life is not a piece of cakewalk. In life, we are going to face victory. In life, we are going to face defeat. And a devotee of the Lord should learn to handle both gracefully. Victory should not get into the head. Jesse, there is this message which I really like a lot. In success, don't lose your head. In failure, don't lose your heart. तो सक्सेस हेड में नहीं चढ़ना चाहिए और फेलियर से कोई पूरा कंप्लीटली डिवास्टेट नहीं होना चाहिए, लाइक दैट. But anyway, coming back, so material life में failure is guaranteed. We should have no doubt about it. You know, if not by anything else, if not by because of my neighbors, if not because of my family members, if not because of some ups and downs happening in my life, if not by anything else, at least by death, failure is guaranteed. In spiritual life, Paramita Mataji has confidence. Mataji और जोर से बोलिए. In spiritual life, success is guaranteed. Everybody please say, in spiritual life, success is guaranteed. We should have no doubt about it. Why success is guaranteed in spiritual life? नेहा विक्रमनाशोस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमपि यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that even a little done in Krishna consciousness can save us from greatest danger, and it is eternal. It is like investing in a permanent bank account. We all are investing. Wherever we are investing, after death, what will happen to it? It has no value for us. Plus, market may crash, economy may go for a toss, Trump may wake up in another dream, you know, and all thing will lose its value. So those investments, okay, we keep doing, not doing based on our time, place, circumstances. But let us not forget the real investment in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Every round of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra we chant and hear properly, we are investing in our permanent bank account. Let us have this faith. Every time we serve Krishna, every time we offer bhoga to Krishna, every time we clean the temple of the Lord, every time we offer arti to the Lord, every time we sing and dance in the presence of the Lord, these are all permanent investment in our eternal bank account. And this will never change, even though we may change bodies, we may change lives. This will always keep growing. Number one. Number two, and most important, success is guaranteed because we are on Krishna's side. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Pardhanodara, Tatra Shri Vijaya Bhute, Dhruva Nitirmatir Mama. Sanjay is telling, Bhagavad Gita began with Dhritarashtra query, what happened, what did they do? And Dhritarashtra is concerned, what will happen. On one hand, he wants kingdom. On the other hand, he is worried that, oh, my sons, because of the influence of the holy place of Kurukshetra, they should not get some vairagya and they should not give up fighting. He's worried about his sons, that they should not give up fighting, because he wants his sons to fight and win so that he gets the kingdom. That is his Rashtra mentality. And the third fear he has is that the Pandavas, because Krishna is on their side and because they are virtuous people, they will win. And all these mixed feelings he have, doubt, fear, hope, all these feelings. But at the end, Sanjay is dismissing everything. After whole Bhagavad Gita, last sloka, Sanjay is telling, don't worry, जो भी होगा इतना गारंटेड है, पांडवा जीतेंगे. Because जहां कृष्णा है और जहां अर्जुन है, वहां विक्ट्री गारंटीड है. So material life, what is guaranteed? Failure. Spiritual life, what is guaranteed? So what life we should live? Spiritual life. There is no doubt about it. Yes, there is struggle in material life. There is struggle in spiritual life. Do you agree? Is there struggle in material life? So much struggle. Whole life is about that only. Is there struggle in spiritual life? Yes. Waking up early in the morning, chanting Hare Krishna itself is a big struggle. Reading books. अपना ऑलरेडी लाइफ इतना बिजी है, उसके बाद सेंटर भी आओ, फिर प्रीचिंग भी करो, फिर बोलते हैं बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन भी करो. स्ट्रगल इज देयर. बट after this struggle, failure is guaranteed. After this struggle, success is guaranteed. Choose your struggle wisely. And yet, despite his life of failure, he achieved the greatest of all success in self-realization by the forceful instructions of a pure devotee of the Lord, who is a typical emblem of a sadhu. The scriptures enjoin, therefore, that one should associate with sadhus only, rejecting all other kinds of association. Now, please note, both are important. What two things? Associate with sadhus Don't associate with asadhus. Actually, sadhu means to cut. Guru means heavy. Guru hota hai na, guru, gravity, grave, guru. Guru comes from that origin. Guru means heavy, and sadhu means to cut. What does sadhu cut? Our attachments, our illusion, our darkness of ignorance. That is what sadhu cuts. So one should associate only with sadhus, rejecting all other kinds of association. This rejecting other association is also so important for advancement in Krishna consciousness that Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Instruction has emphasized it 2 times. Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Instruction Nectar of Instruction has how many verses? 11 verses. And that is like a sar, Upadesh Amrit. It is a essence of all instructions in the Shastras. Imagine all Shastras with 1 lakh verses the instructions of all Shastras have been summarized in 11 verses. Right? In that, would you ever dare to repeat anything? If I have to ask you to introduce yourself in 1 word or 5 words, you will choose all 5 words very cleverly and carefully so that you are able to tell maximum about yourself in these 5 words. Will you repeat 2 words in this? You are wasting 1 word unnecessarily. Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Instruction, the fact about rejecting association, he is speaking twice. We all know what is the 2nd verse of Nectar of Instruction? Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyamcha. Yeah. Nectar of Instruction, book distribution. Those who don't have Suresh Prabhu ki. Those who don't have Nectar of Instruction should please purchase Nectar of Instruction today. Just a small thin book, 11 verses. It contains, he's displaying there also. So the 2nd verse is about 6 things which destroy your bhakti. 6 things which destroy your bhakti. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyamcha shadbir bhaktir vinashyati. Janasanga, association of worldly minded people. Worldly minded people who only talk about whole day about money, wealth, sex, politics, economics. Only they talk about that only whole day. To take their association is not good. Now, should we stop being with them? No. You have to be with them, have a working relationship with them. But don't associate with them. What does association mean? Association means transformation of desires. What is association? Transformation of desire. If you have come to devotees and your desire to practice Krishna consciousness has not increased, if your desire to love Krishna has not increased, then you have not taken association of devotees. Even you on Happy New Year, you have come to center. On the other hand, if you are not getting affected by worldly people's desire for money, fame, name, and all that, then you are not taking their association, even though you are with them. Is this point clear to everyone? Right? So in that spirit, we should not associate with worldly minded people, and we should associate with devotees, with sadhus, those who are on the right path. So Rupa Goswami, he is telling this as one principle which is unfavorable for devotional service. Janasanga, that means association of worldly minded people. In the very next verse, verse number 3, Rupa Goswami says 6 things which are favorable for devotional service. 6 चीजें जो भक्ति के लिए लाभकारी है. वो क्या बोलते हैं वो? उत्साह, निश्चय, धैर्य, तत्त कर्म प्रवर्तना, संग त्यागा शतो वृत्ते, षड्भिर भक्तिर प्रसिद्धति. संग त्यागा. Here, for unfavorable, he is saying Jan Sangha, इसलिए वो नहीं करना है. And for favorable, he is saying Sangha Tyaga, मतलब worldly minded लोगों का संग त्याग करना है और ऐसा करना है. So you see, he is highlighting the importance of not associating with non-devotees twice in NOI. So important it is. Because अगर किसी को बहुत अच्छा टेनिस प्लेयर बनना है, तो उसको क्या करना चाहिए? जो भी रोल मॉडल टेनिस प्लेयर है, वो रॉजर फेडरर या जो भी होते हैं, नडाल, क्या ऑल दीज पीपल, या किसी को बहुत अच्छा क्रिकेटर बनना है तो विराट कोहली, इन सब लोगों का पोस्टर चारों तरफ लगाने का, इन लोगों के साथ उठना बैठने का, जिसका जो वही बात करते रहते हैं, उसका एक एक मैच में कितना क्या किया वो सोचते हैं, तो वो जल्दी वो अच्छा टेनिस प्लेयर बनेगा. राइट? सिमिलरली अगर हमको डिवोटी बनना है तो हमको ऐसे लोगों के साथ रहना है जो डिवोटीज हैं, जो कृष्णा के बारे में सोचते हैं, कृष्णा को प्लीज करने की कोशिश करते हैं. देन वी विल बिकम डिवोटी फास्टर. And by doing so, one will have ample opportunity to hear the sadhus. What is the most important thing we do in association? Remember the 9 stages of bhakti? Adau Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya. First, we have some faith. that yes, let's come to center. Let's attend the Bhagavad Gita course. Let's attend this so-and-so class. Adau Shraddha. Things begin with some Shraddha. And then because of that Shraddha, what do? We take association, sadhu sangha. We take association of devotees. And what do we do in that association? Bhajan kriya, shravanam kirtanam, singing for the Lord, dancing for the Lord, hearing about Lord's message, hearing Krishna Katha. That's what we do. So one will have ample opportunity to hear the sadhus. And as a result of that, what will happen? Who can cut to pieces the bonds of illusory affection in the material world. We are all bound. सोचिए एक व्यक्ति है जो रस्सी से पूरा बंधा हुआ है, हाथ पैर सारा, वो अपने आप को खोल फ्री कर सकता है क्या? Can a person who is bound with ropes, can he free himself? No. Okay, now there is one more bound person, bound with ropes. Can this person free him? Can he free him? So two bound people cannot free each other. Now imagine Śrīla Prabhupāda is walking. Is he bound? He is not bound. He is a pure devotee. Can he come and free us? That's what a sadhu does. He cuts the ropes of affection. It is a fact that material world is a great illusion. And now Prabhupada in these last sentences is telling how this world is illusory and how we are bound by illusion. Illusion के क्या-क्या examples हैं? First, we think ourselves to be the body. That is one example of Maya. We think we are this body. And things in connection to this body are mine. I and mine. That is one illusion. What is the other illusion? Other illusion is whatever is good for us, we hate it. And it is true, so true, right? Jai Shri Radha Madhav ki, Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subramanya ki, Jai Shri Gaur Nitai ki. बच्चों को जंक फूड ज्यादा अच्छा लगता है कि दाल रोटी सब्जी? That is the nature of this world. जो अच्छा है वो खराब लगता है और जो खराब है वो अच्छा लगता है. That is the nature of this world. This is another example of Maya. Third example of Maya is time is passing by. Time is passing by. We are growing old. We are going closer to death, but we are thinking, no, we will never die. That is illusion. So many examples of illusion. Fourth example of illusion is we are spending our 24 hours for something which is temporary. That is what Prabhupada calls as illusory. We are spending 24 hours for something temporary and not worrying to spend our time for something permanent, which investment we talked about. Right? Again, this is because of Maya only. And yet for what? For some flickering happiness. वो जो chewing gum खाने के बाद जो थोड़ा सा टेस्ट आता है, पर वो आ गया टेस्ट, खत्म हो गया, अभी वही चबाए जा रहे हैं, पुनः पुनश्चर्विता चरना नाम. Same thing, right? Chewing gum example. The same thing we are doing, which actually is more suffering than happiness. What is Krishna saying in Bhagavad Gita? Yehi samsparsha jab hoga dukh yone evate adi antvantu kaunteya na teshu ramate buddha. Krishna is telling yehi samsparsha jab hoga. That happiness which is coming because of the contact of the senses and sense objects. वो happiness जो कि sense और sense objects के contact से आ रहा है, यही संस्पर्श जाब होगा दुख योनयो एवते. That is pregnant with misery. If somebody is pregnant, what does it mean? It's just a matter of time, child will be born. If something is pregnant with dukh, means it is just a matter of time, dukh will come. So, okay, I like to eat a pizza a lot. So I eat one pizza, two pizza, three pizzas. What will happen tomorrow? Problem, correct? Or I like rasgulla a lot. So I eat 1, 2, 3, 10, 50 rasgulla. What will happen tomorrow? Dukh yone evate, Mr. So every time we try to enjoy the senses, we are creating an appointment with Mr. Suffering in future. It is an appointment with Mr. Suffering. That is the first thing Krishna is telling. Dukha yone evate. Not only that, there is one more characteristic. Adi antvantu kaunteya. Such happiness has a beginning and has an end. It is temporary. Na teshu ramate buddha. Those who are intelligent people, they don't relish this pleasure. अरे pleasure चाहिए मेरे को ऐसा जो कि कभी खत्म ना हो. वो pleasure हुआ ना. ऐसा pleasure जो शुरू होके खत्म हो गया, उसका क्या फायदा? वो तो मेरे को उल्टा, it will only leave me high and dry every time. Correct? That pleasure which ends, will you call it pleasure at all? No, it is just some temporary forgetfulness of suffering. Just like, let's say day after tomorrow somebody has exam. Students have exam day after tomorrow. Today they are going to watch a movie. और मूवी देख के एकदम मजा आ रहा है, अरे वाह धुरंधर हो गया, एकदम ये हो गया, वो हो गया, बहुत मजा आ रहा है. वो एक्चुअली मजा नहीं आ रहा होता है. वो हमारा जो आउटसाइड लाइफ में जो रियलिटी विच इज फुल ऑफ सफरिंग्स होता है ना, वो हम थोड़ी देर के लिए भूल जाते हैं. Because we forget suffering for some time, we misthink it to be happiness. Just like you take वो एक बार क्लोरीमेंट का एक ऐड आता था पहले, वो पान की दुकान पे एक बाल्टी रहता है, bucket of water, and this guy says क्लोरमिन के बारे में बोलता है, क्लोरमिन नहीं जानता, उसका ऐसा मुंह बकेट में गिरा देता है ऐसा, right? So imagine there is a person, you take his head and put him inside water. What will happen? He'll feel breathless. And just when he's about to die, take him out. Again, put him down. Again, he's feeling breathless, about to die. Just when he's about to die, just take him out. Now tell me, in between when he's out, what will he feel? Big relief and big happiness. Is it happiness? Is it just a period between two sufferings? Correct? So in this world, whenever we are so-called happy, not with Krishna and other, with our material things, that is like in between two sufferings ka temporary relief. Please understand that. Because the nature of this world is change. ये जो है बदल जाएगा. अभी सब बच्चा एकदम बढ़िया से मेरा चैंटिंग कर रहा है, 1 साल बाद नहीं करेगा. अभी मेरे घर में सब कुछ बढ़िया चल रहा है, किसी को कैंसर हो गया, गॉड फॉरबिड. अभी सब बढ़िया चल रहा है, अरे कल ही ऑफिस से ले ऑफ हो गया. अभी हमारा अमेज़न में जनवरी में बहुत बड़ा होने वाला है. Right? So this is the nature of this world. So whatever happiness we perceive, what was the first characteristic? पहली बात तो वो happiness नहीं है, it is only an appointment with Mr. Suffering in future. Suffering is waiting. Second, it has a beginning and an end. It is temporary. It is just a temporary relief in between two sufferings. तब हमको लगता है सब बढ़िया चला. क्या बढ़िया चल रहा है? वापस कुछ तो आने वाला, घंटा बजने वाला है. Like that. So happy New Year. But what is the right way to make it happy? And then we don't have to wait for New Year to become happy. Every day is a happy new day. Because Krishna is Nav Yavanam Cha. Krishna is ever fresh and Krishna is ever new. If we are Krishna conscious, and I'm sure some of us may have already experienced this, that every day is a happy new day. If we are thinking of Krishna morning, afternoon and evening, at least 3 times a day. We say in Gurvashtakam towards the end, what is that? Dhayastri Sandhyam. Dhayastri Sandhyam matlab 3 बार. At least 3 times a day को बोल देते हैं always. So at least 3 times a day we should remember Krishna. Morning, evening, and then in between थोड़ा सा Krishna को remember कर लिया. Like. So if we are doing like that, then we are not only we have to wait for Happy New Year, we can have Happy New Day. There are some more things which are highlighted in this purport. Tell me some other examples from Shastras wherein we see divine intervention of a devotee. We already saw 2 examples here. One example was Prabhupada is giving about himself. That, one fine day, in that opportune moment, I met my Guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, and then my life changed. One example he gives. Second example is of Vidura, coming and interfering in the life of Dhritarashtra. Think of some other examples from Shastras of divine intervention. Dhruv Maharaj became so angry, he went to forest in search of Krishna. And he was doing his own way, whatever he was supposed to do. Then who came? Narad Muni. And Narad Muni taught him how he can actually worship Krishna and serve Krishna. The other example, Vyasdev and Narad. Vyasdev, after compiling all the Shastras, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Purana, Vedas, he was still feeling dissatisfied. Ki kuch to garbad hai. And then Narad Muni came, and Vyasdev was feeling, shayad maine Bhagwan ko अच्छे से glorify नहीं किया hai. And Narad Muni came and he said, yes, that is the thing. Now you please compile Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Just like Bhaktisiddhanta Sarjapur Thakur told Prabhupada to compile Bhagavatam in English, which Prabhupada is acknowledging here. Similarly, Narad Muni told Vyasdev, please compile Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. और कोई? Valmiki example. Valmiki was a highway robber. He was a highway robber. Narad Muni's interference, he became Valmiki. That is what association of pure devotee can do. Any other example? चित्रकेतु के केस में वो धौम्य ऋषि और वो आए थे जो उन्होंने उसको इनलाइटन किया. मृगारी हंटर के साथ भी वही हुआ, same like Valmiki. Any other example? Narad Muni himself, when he was a small boy in previous life, he got the association of Bhakti Vedantis. The Bhakti Vedantis, because of their association, he became a pure devotee later. King Bharat has one more example. Because of no association of devotees, he fell down. But later, because of Rahuguna got association of Bharat Maharaj, Jad Bharat, and he got transformed. So many examples in Shastras are there of association, how association can change the course of our life, like that Superman. Jagai Madai, who intervened? Nityanand Prabhu, Haridas Thakur, right? They interfered in their life. Okay. Okay. We'll end with this last thing about importance of association. So what is the first thing we saw about importance of association? उसके भी पहले that association is so powerful that sadhu sangha sarva shastra ko hai lava matra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoy. Even by a moment association of a pure devotee, the course of our life can change. Point number one. We are summarizing the importance of association. Point number one, even by moment association, the course of our life can change. Superman example. We are on a high-speed royal road to hell. Intervention of a pure devotee can change the direction of our life, and we can be on a royal road to success, to spiritual world. First. Second, as Paramita Mataji said, that by association, our attachments, our illusion, the ropes with which we are bound will be cut. Whatever we are thinking to be real, we will know it is illusory. We will learn to differentiate between truth and illusion by association. We will learn to differentiate between truth and illusion. Somebody was telling that real knowledge does not mean to become an ass carrying huge loads of information. That is not real knowledge. To become an ass carrying huge loads of information on his shoulders. Real knowledge means to be able to differentiate between truth and illusion. That is real knowledge. To be able to differentiate between truth and illusion. So by association, by hearing in association, we'll be able to differentiate truth and illusion. We'll know, oh, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to live my life? Just like Arjuna. Before Bhagavad Gita, he was under illusion. He did not know what to do. He was arguing back and forth. Should I fight? Should I not fight? But after he heard Bhagavad Gita, he was very clear. Journey from confusion to clarity. That's the second reason why we have to importance of association. Third, association shapes our desires. In fact, that's the meaning of association. Shapes our desires and lifestyle. Śrīla Prabhupāda, in one purport, he says, association of devotees keeps the culture of Krishna consciousness fresh. If we are not taking association of devotees, yeah. So anyway, I'm ending in 3-4 minutes now. So the third point was association shapes our desires. In fact, that's the definition of association. What is association? Transformation of desires. That is association. It shapes our lifestyle. The more we start associating with devotees, the more we start behaving like them. And Śrīla Prabhupada writes in one purport, association of devotees keeps the culture of Krishna consciousness fresh. And you can try this. I mean, don't try this, but just visualize this. That for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, you are away from association, you will see you are kind of, becoming weak in Krishna consciousness. You keep coming in association, everything will be fresh and alive. Fourth point about association is it is like walking stick. Association of devotees is like walking stick. Whenever the ground is rough, we may have a tendency to fall. But if we have association of devotees, it supports us like a walking stick. That support system of devotees is very, very important. Because in our life, we are going to go through ups and downs. Whenever we go through ups and downs, we should not give up Krishna consciousness. When we are together with association of devotees, in our thick and thin, in our ups and downs, even in ups, somebody can give up Krishna consciousness. Everything is happening so nicely in life. Arey, I got a lottery of 1 crore rupees, I forgot Krishna only. Right? Temptation and tribulation, both are to be tolerated. In fact, regarding shaping desires, I wanted to show you one small picture. How association can shape our desires and lifestyle. Is everybody able to see this? Okay, this is about protection. It protects us from Maya. This is an example how association protects us from Maya, because association is strength. Together, we are strong, we are united. But Abhi, I did not want to show this. I wanted to show. Okay, what is this divine intervention? Okay. Just a second, it's a very nice. So this guy is Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? वो number first bodybuilder and first इसके दो बेटे थे. Of course he got divorced with his wife or whatever, they were living separate. तो इसके दो बेटे थे. एक बेटा इसके साथ रहा, एक बेटा इसकी वाइफ के साथ रहा. जो बेटा इसके साथ रहा वो ऐसा बन गया, जो बेटा इसकी वाइफ के साथ रहा वैसा. Power of association. Actually, it is true. No, this is because association shapes our desire and lifestyle. Okay, and then it is like a walking stick. It is like a support system of devotees. Devotees will help us through thick and thin. Fifth or sixth important association is it serves as a beating stick. Whenever we are going wrong, we need devotees to correct us. And therefore, we should associate with senior devotees in such a way that they should feel comfortable in correcting us. If the senior devotees feel that if I correct you, you will take it negatively, or you will not like it, or you will go away, then will a senior devotee correct you? No. So we have to behave in such a way with seniors that they feel free and feel comfortable in correcting us. That is a success of our relationship with seniors, right? And that is how we remain protected in Krishna consciousness. Association brings clarity of thoughts. When we hear, we are able to dispel our illusion. Our thoughts become clear. Sometimes a gentle push and pull is needed. Sometimes what happens, we may be wondering, today should I come to center or should I do this? उसी समय एक devotee का phone call आ जाता है, and we become encouraged to come to center, right? So sometimes devotee's intervention in our life helps us take right decisions. Otherwise, we are confused, and we are not having that enough strength. Devotee's intervention gives us that necessary push or pull. Remember once Raj Krishna Prabhu was showing that slope example that we are trying to climb uphill. We need push and we need pull of devotees. And lastly, we always discuss that in association of devotees only we can render service. Otherwise, how can we render service? In association of devotees only we get mercy of Krishna, because Krishna says, Naham Tishtami, what is that shloka? Naham Tishtami Vaikunthe, Yoginam Hideshu va, Yat Gayanti Mad Bhakta, Tatra Tishtami Narada. Wherever my devotees come together to sing and hear about me, that is where I reside. So we get mercy of Krishna. And finally, the spiritual world is about togetherness. In a spiritual world, we will not be sitting under our own tree alone. In spiritual, we are all together trying to enjoy with Krishna. And when we learn to do that here, then we will be able to do that nicely there in spiritual world. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. So when we understand these principles, we need not wait for a new year to greet each other Happy New Year. Actually, every day, every morning, we can greet each other Happy New Day. Hare Krishna. Do we have any questions? Yes, Prabhu.
Sometimes we see that nowadays people sending parents to college home. How we can see that this is different from the Vidura being advised to go out of
Good question. So first of all, when parents are being sent to old age home, their own children are sending them who do not want to take care of them anymore. Here, Yudhishthir was more than happy to take care of Dhritarashtra. In fact, after getting convinced by Vidura when Dhritarashtra left home, Yudhishthir, he is such a kind person, he is such a nice person, he is blaming himself कि शायद मैंने अच्छे से ख्याल नहीं रखा जिसकी वजह से वो छोड़ के चले गए. Just imagine what kind of a nobility Yudhishthir has. He is blaming himself कि शायद मेरे केयर में कुछ कमी रह गई. Just like okay. शायद मेरे केयर में कुछ कमी रह गई जिसकी वजह से धृतराष्ट्र छोड़ के चले गए. So answer number 1 to your question, that there is a great deal of difference, because here some third person Vidura, a guru, is telling one to leave home for spiritual advancement, and in the old age home case, those who are unable to take care of their old parents, they are sending them to old age home. Number 1. Number 2, the purpose. After going to old age home, what are they doing? They are playing cards. So continuing on the road of hell. Whether you are in home or you are in old age home, doesn't matter. Here, when Dhritarashtra went, he went to pray and prepare. He went to focus himself more and more on Krishna. So these two are like very clear, important differences. So motivation and who is causing it. The cause and the motivation, both are different. Does that answer your question? Yes, Avadut Nimai Prabhu, you want to add some things? And therefore, old age home is not Vanprastha. We'll have question answers for 2-3 more minutes. Followed by that, we'll have Guru Puja. Happy New Year, Guru Puja. And then after that, Prasadam. Yes, Prabhu. I think in between it came. Or you can try to speak loudly. I will repeat your question. Yes.
After Pandava won the war, then because of the obviously they are able to go to the home. So they find there are larger chances that the developer will not become pure devotee in the because after
Yes. So there are two answers to this question, Prabhu. First of all, let me repeat the question. Avadut Nimai Prabhu was asking that Dhritarashtra was living in the home of Pandavas. Pandavas are pure devotees of Krishna. So certainly their home atmosphere must have been Krishna conscious. Their whatever they are eating must have been also prasadam. So it must have been a Krishna conscious lifestyle. So Dhritarashtra could have as well continued there and lived a Krishna conscious life and then died. Right? Why he did not do that versus why his spiritual advancement was understood to be only after leaving his home. So two answers to this question, Prabhu, based on what I can understand. One is that time, place, and circumstances were different. In those time, place, and circumstances, it was indeed important for people to come out of the home, go out and achieve spiritual perfection, which is not recommended in today's age. So in whatever we, like your first part of the question was coming from the fact that today in Kali Yuga, we can stay at our home, be perfectly Krishna conscious and perfect our life. And therefore we are thinking, why could Dhritarashtra not have done that? This is possible in today's Kali Yuga as a concession or as a special mercy by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we are actually in one sense very, very fortunate. Kaler dosh nidhe rajan, asti hi eko mahan guna, kirtanat eva krishnasya mukta sangha param vrije. It is our great fortune that we are in this golden age in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga as such is a dark age. We are in the 10,000 years of golden age in the dark age, wherein we have got this easy and a kevala ananda kanda, easy and a nice way to perfect our life. It was not as it is. Of course, chanting holy names was supreme process even then. But that time, it was like everybody else is anyway doing it. So to explicitly come out of your attachments, it was required for you to do something different like this. So two reasons. One, this fortune is only available as a special concession right now, that you can do whatever you are doing, just chant nicely Hare Krishna, make your life Krishna conscious, offer yat karoshi yadashnosi yat johosi tadasiyat, offer everything to Krishna, and by mercy of Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we will take care of you. That time almost everybody was like that among all good people, right? So that is one reason. Second reason is Dhritarashtra actually was attached. You may be in a Krishna conscious atmosphere. There may be some devotees home, right? Just by being in some home, or there may be brahmacharis in temple. Forget a grahastha's home. There may be brahmacharis in temple who may not be Krishna conscious because they are only worried about eating, drinking, and sleeping, right? So just by being at some place, one does not become a spiritual advancement. And because Dhritarashtra had this mentality, he was not there from a devotee perspective. He was not thinking, "Arey, so nice, I'm with devotees, very nice, my spiritual perfection is happening." No, he was only worried about eating, sleeping, enjoying the luxuries of life and comforts of life. And therefore he had to be told, "Nahi, tum yahan se bahar niklo aur yahan jao." And that has, Prabhupada has also done that. Let's say if some devotee is becoming too complacent staying in temple, Prabhupada will say, "Go out and preach." Now one may say, no, he could have stayed in temple and he can do more service. No, you go out and preach. No, you get married, because here you are only becoming a lazy bump. ISKCON is not a free hotel. You go and get married and do your duties and responsibilities. So it depends on the person also, and it depends on also the glory of the process, which is a special case for us right now. You can yourself add a few more points to this. Okay, any other questions? Yes, Prabhu. Haribo.
So, when doubt comes that although you had spent your life in the legal way, but still you can get perfection. So, so is it possible like that?
Pure devotee can do anything. That is what Vidura's, that's what exactly Prabhupada is writing here. And yet, despite his life of failure, he achieved the greatest of all success in self-realization by the forceful instructions of pure devotee of the Lord. So that is the power of association. In fact, Prabhupada says even one moment is enough to achieve spiritual perfection. Just like King Khatwanga. One moment he achieved spiritual perfection. It depends on with what intensity are we taking the instructions. So it depends on two things. One, on our being fortunate to get association of a pure devotee. And two, our intensity and sincerity in very eagerly taking that association. Just like we know that example of, who is that? Dhundubi. What's that person? Gokarna and Dunduli. Dunduli or Dundukari, right? So Gokarna is speaking Bhagavatam and everybody is hearing Bhagavatam, but this Dundukari who is in the bamboo knots, with every, day, one knot is breaking. He was like a ghost in that bamboo stick. With every day, one knot is breaking, and the end of the entire Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, he goes back home, back to Godhead. And everybody is wondering, we also heard the same Bhagavatam from the same speaker in the same time and place, yet he got delivered, we did not. Why? Because they were not hearing with eagerness. They were not hankering for that hearing. They were not hearing with intensity, right? So that's the answer. So first, he had that intensity. Second, the power of association of pure devotee. Both are needed. Like it is said, Brahmand Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasad Pai Bhakti Lata Beej. Now we all have got that Bhakti Lata Beej. Guru is very powerful. Prabhupada is very powerful. He has given a very powerful beej to us. But if our heart is like a barren land, Banjar Bhumi, तो सीड कितना भी पावरफुल हो क्या होगा? क्या होगा? कुछ नहीं होगा. Seed तो बहुत powerful है. These Prabhupada books which you are seeing in the counter there, they are very very powerful. पर किसी के पास जाता है कुछ नहीं होता है. किसी के पास जाता है क्या हो जाता है? एक चोर के पास जाता है वो टेंपल प्रेसिडेंट बन जाता है. This has happened with Prabhupada books, right? So seed is the same. What was different? The land on which the seed was sown. So one land is barren land, इसलिए उधर कुछ नहीं हुआ. The other land is fertile land, and fertile land means what? Humility, right attitude, eagerness, sincerity. उससे जब हम receive करेंगे, तो with this right combination, our seed of Bhakti Lata will sprout, and we will go all the way back home, back to God. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. We will have Guru Puja now. Oh, announcements.
Thanks for the classes. By chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We have one announcement. As Prabhuji mentioned during the class, we are starting a online session, 15 minutes, one sloka a day for 184 slokas in multiple languages. In fact, started very this morning. So, any devotees who are interested to join the session, please contact Prabhupada.
I'll just add one thing about it. So, how many shlokas does Bhagavad Gita have? Shlokas. Out of these 700 shlokas, many senior devotees have collected 108 very important shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, which are like the most important pearls of wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. So what Sumedha Śrīla Prabhu just talked about is about those 108 shlokas. So every day, Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday is holiday. Yes. Every day, Monday to Friday, only 15 minutes, one shloka will be covered. So like that for 108 days, it will be done. It's an amazing thing. All of us who do not know about those 108 shlokas, whether you are already practicing devotees or not, It is very, very important that you please join that session, and details can be known by Suresh Prabhu Venkatesh.
Yeah. So all the it's a very convenient timing, 8:30 p.m. daily, and also 6:45 a.m. in the morning. So we have a wonderful line so we Telugu, Kannada, and Tamil. And on the auspicious day of New Year today, so we will be some interested to the seva. So please contact the Apart from that, we also have a youth festival being celebrated on 10th January. This way, Chaitanya Prabhu will be giving us a class. Apart from the class, we have drama and any fun activities are there. It is basically for the youths from the age of 15 to 30 years. And if anyone would like to register, please contact Suresh Prabhu. And today's prasadam sponsored by Akriti Mataji and Friend Prabhu, and they are expecting a new baby and the system of the devotees and worship. And also one more it's will chat one day Hare Krishna Mahamantra for all their Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. We have Guru Puja. Any new devotees who are familiar? Anyone has come for the very first time? Devotee Mataji? Anuradha. Please contact Bhavna Mataji.
Bhavna Mataji.
So let's welcome Mataji by chanting 3 times. Haribo. Haribo. Guru Puja. Then follow with Prasadam.